So I have played a lot of Avowed. I continue to play daily, and well, today guys, I want to give you my thoughts on the game, what I think about it. This will be me being a little unhinged, but to be honest, if I hurt feelings with what I say, I wasn't put here guys to dance around emotions. Take those tears elsewhere. How's it going guys? My name's DPJ, and if you do enjoy the video, leaving a like really helps out, and if you like what you see and want to see more, be sure to subscribe. Okay, so I firstly want to start with what I saw in regards to early gameplay opinions to what we have now. There were a couple of folks I casually watch cover and review games. I normally stray away from reviewers and critics and like to test the waters myself, and in this regard with Avowed I'm glad I did. But I saw many reviewers who played the game months back share their initial thoughts months back, and for the most part it was completely positive. The game has only progressed since, but yet the same folks are now shitting on the game, which is weird. Or is it? I feel the world we live in these days is being controlled by the fear of politics and being on the wrong side of them. People have taken this to a whole new level of weird, which I just can't get on board, I won't lie. Much like the art director of Avowed, which we will come to. So we have YouTubers who played the game 6 months ago and loved it. Yet on release, all of a sudden, they bandwagon hate due to being afraid of actually enjoying something that's woke or anti-woke or politically correct or trying to be. I mean, I won't lie, I haven't got a clue about any of that BS, nor do I care. If I enjoy a game, I will continue to play it. I personally stay the F out of politics. I've always had the mindset in regards to gaming that imagine letting outside noise affect how you enjoy your personal time. We live in an effed up world guys, and it really seems to take its toll on folk. I mean, fair enough, if you don't like the look of the game for one reason or another, don't play it. I do this with Final Fantasy, I do this with Resident Evil, I do this with Zelda, The Last of Us, Spider-Man. Games that I do not like the look of, I simply ignore everything about them. But with Avowed, I feel like people need to make a point. People will make a point, and people won't stop until that point they believe has been made. I can safely say the point here with Avowed has been made. It's been buried due to this. It's been buried due to outside noise, and now it's become a total flop as a result. But it isn't because the game's bad. People feel there's agenda trying to be pushed with wokeness taking over games. I first thought it was because the game had pronoun options in it. I mean, if you let something like that ruin your enjoyment of games, I would say that's some seriously weird shit. But in this case, this is one of those instances, people, where the art director at Obsidian pointed out a feature was purposely put in the game to piss players off. Now that is some seriously sad, weird shit. And I get it, people don't want to support a company where a certain dev can't keep his mouth shut and just spews utter nonsense. That is completely fair enough. Don't play the game, move on from it and let the game fade away. But I know this is the main reason many of these reviewer YouTubers have all of a sudden switched on the game. It's because they don't want to be seen in any kind of negative light, and I understand that. It's their jobs at the end of the day in regards to protecting their YouTube channel. And to be honest, this art director is no doubt just trying to be politically correct, thinking it's the right thing to do and say. He basically said he purposely added things into the game to piss people off, to piss players off. I mean, what kind of dipshit says and does something like this publicly? I just do not get it, people. And for this reason alone, I get why people are boycotting the game. I really do. And the game for these reasons is now literally being shit on left, right and centre. But is it because the game's bad? Well, definitely not in my opinion. Is it a perfect AAA title? Abso-fucking-lutely not. But it's nowhere near as bad as what I'm seeing people make out. People are making it out way worse than what it is because of pronouns in the game, because people don't like wokeness, which if I'm honest they probably could have got away with, but seeing as this art director dev come out with the bullshit he did, it was never gonna get away with it. When that chance appeared, The game got stockpiled on, and now it will never recover. It really won't. In fact, I don't think Obsidian will either. And it's unfortunate because although Avowed isn't the greatest game in the world, it's nowhere near as bad as it's being made out to be. But unfortunately guys, we live in a world now where politics are just trying to force itself upon everything, and people are just playing along like puppets. And this is the reality we are now living in. But my stance on politics and everything surrounding the game, I'm literally in the corner of not giving a flying F. I literally don't care one single bit. I seriously don't give two craps about politics. I don't care about feelings. I don't care about upsetting people who thrive on looking for things to be upset about. I mean, I saw a game I like the look of. I actually had no idea what this dev said prior, and only looked it up after seeing how low the player base was and all the negative comments on every single Avowed video that I've seen posted. I mean, I've learned of what I've spoke about today since playing the game. The pronouns in the game, I didn't even notice myself. I'm probably playing as I always do, as I create a black dreadlock rasta dude, hefty bearded Viking looking mofo. But I'm probably actually a woman with a poontang. I don't really care, to be honest. You guys should see some of my other cyberpunk characters. I mean, they blow this shit out of the water. But yeah, I really don't care about politics. If I want to play a game I like the look of, I'm going to play it. But yeah, these reviewers going back and what they think is nothing new to me, and it shouldn't be new to you. YouTubers rage baiting and posting pure garbage negativity is nothing new to me, and it shouldn't be to you. It will never stop. It will always get views, and going through YouTube and searching Avowed, the highest viewed videos are of people crapping on the game, and it's come to a point now where it's the in thing to do. It's where the views are. It's just another title to them. Many more will come. Let's crap on this one while the chance is high, while it's popular. Let's rake it in them views and make that money. And then we'll move on to the next. But when that next woke game comes out and no one cares about it being woke, we will cover and play that in good light. Because my point here guys is I really don't feel the game's being shit on because it's woke or whatever it is. There has been plenty of woke games none of these people gave two craps about. This game is being shit on because it's the in thing to do, and wokeness or woke or politically correct or whatever it is being used as an excuse. An excuse not to enjoy the game, an excuse not allowing people to enjoy the game. And well, to be honest guys, in this regard, I'm not sure I can feel sorry for Obsidian. I know it's more than one dev in regards to the company, but at the end of the day, that dev is representing them and their game, and it's something they're allowing to happen. Simple as that. I'll be real with you, I play games to get out of the real world. Rarely ever take a game seriously to let it affect my thoughts on life, much like a movie, and will never let a game define me or send me down a road on some weird agenda path for status. Ain't gonna happen. But I actually get it guys, I get the hate, I get the boycott. It makes sense to me looking in on the world and the way it's going, and Obsidian are foolish to think in the way the tides turn these days that they could get away with what they've said. They've ruined their name in my opinion, they really have. Now if you are a gamer like me and you do not care about outside noise, you just want to chill, sit back, play a game and enjoy it, well you will get that from Avowed. So my thoughts on it. Well, firstly guys, I've played a lot of it, but I will tell you this up straight, it doesn't feel like a game that fits a category of a game I'd pay big money for, like 60 quid or $70. But then I never had to because I got it for free on Game Pass, and that for me is about its level. Not saying it's a bad game at all because it actually isn't, I don't think it's a bad game one bit, but I can't sit here and tell you it's a AAA title worth all of that asking price of $70. It isn't like many titles these days, but seemingly get away with it. So the positives and negatives, these will be rolled up into one, but it is just my opinion. So combat. Combat I feel is actually quite fun. Plenty on offer here in regards to weapons, to fine tune, and used with different weapon types, etc, etc. I feel like being able to mix and match different weapons as well is super fun. But that's where it kind of ends. Most of the weapons in this game after a certain time just feel like the same kind of weapon. Swords, axes, hammers, daggers and so forth. They are extremely limited in their move set. Bows and pistols are more or less bows and pistols, you get what you get there. The best part about this game in regards to its combat is most definitely the magic and one side of the game with that grimoire book. The game feels like this is where it's meant to be played, with loads on offer here with tons of spells too. I also like the idea of the grimoire books, allowing you to use multiple spells and grimoires being found with a mix and match of spells. I mean, I like this idea of combat. So combat in this game for me, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. But if there was no magic in the game, guys, that would definitely drop down to like a 3. So the story is okay at best. Don't get me wrong, there's loads here in regards to it. Too much here for me to care about and even process, but that's just me and my own problems. But hey, but if that's your thing and you like forks in regards to progress with different options for different results, then there's loads of that on offer here. I just find the whole basis of their story and the way it's told just pretty boring. But in saying that, not much these days can pull me in. The characters though, I won't lie, are definitely all completely different. They all seem like they have a personality, and you more or less will never get bored of speaking to people because there's so much here to hear if that's your kind of thing. Now the concept of the story is half decent and deep enough to keep you playing and entertained for sure. I'll give the story, in my opinion, a 6 out of 10. Companions, which were a big selling point to me prior to release, I actually love that idea and concept of them, but if I'm honest, they don't actually add anything to the game. I've struggled to feel any kind of bond with them to a point of when they go down in battle, I leave them there to suffer. And I do believe there's only 4 companions anyway. I could be wrong, but I do indeed think there's only 4. And while they're all kind of bland and not needed, not really anyway, I do enjoy the idea of being able to control certain aspects of their abilities, which can assist you in battle, but it's a system I feel could be 10 times better. Companions, 3 out of 10. So what about the open world, or shall we say regions? Now these are actually the best part of the game in my opinion. Although I ain't a fan of the cartoony graphics, I feel like the game actually looks decent too. Now the regions you can explore are surprisingly big, with secrets around every corner, which is what I love in this genre of game. Now the enemies I did enjoy too, well my encounters with them anyway. It seemed as though there's only a certain few kind of enemies in the game, they're spread across all 6 regions. But yeah, I mean it doesn't bother me that much as long as the battles with them are fun, which they seemingly are, and they can be ruthless at the same time, which I enjoy. One thing that does kind of suck though is the fact that enemies do not respawn. Bosses do not respawn, and farming is more or less absent from this game. If mini bosses in this game, the current ones that drop guaranteed loot upon death, only had a chance to drop said loot and they respawned, it would have been much more of a fun and enjoyable game to play. It also would have lasted way longer than well it currently will. It's going to be a 1 playthrough and done for me, definitely. But because it's like this, everything's basically put on a plate for you, which results in the game being too easy when you get your bearings on the gameplay. But the regions, although there's only 6 of them as I said, I'd give a solid 7 out of 10. I enjoyed exploring, I won't lie, it's by far the best part of this game in my opinion. So yeah, my overall thoughts on the game. It's an enjoyable one if you don't expect too much. It has a seemingly healthy combat system as well as those skill trees which add quite a bit to it, not massive but add a bit to it, with loads of builds to chase and create towards. But I'm glad I got it on Game Pass because I'd probably be pissed off if I'd paid full price for this game. Overall, I'm giving the game a solid 6 or 7 out of 10. I'm enjoying my time with it, I will continue to play it. I kind of see it as an arcadey Skyrim, as mad as that sounds. But yes guys, if you can ignore the outside noise, you probably will enjoy Avowed. Many people these days though can't ignore the outside noise. They can't be seen to ignore the outside noise, so the only option they have is to jump on the bandwagon of hate. And that is why, ultimately, Avowed has failed. Guys, on that note, the end of the video has arrived. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like really helps out. Let me know your thoughts down below, and hopefully guys, I will see you on that next one.